Welcome to Bloom in Full Color, where we live life in ultraviolet. We're going to drive that for a little while. We're going to see how it rolls off my tongue.
Yeah.
I'm Jennifer Moss. I've got Liz here with me.
Hello.
We didn't say that in the last episode. I probably should introduce myself every once in a while. I kind of assume, ass being the important word there,
Yes.
that everybody knows who I am. And my ego just needs a hard check every once in a while. I'll be like, and you know what it is? It's because I have no anonymity? No, I'm not saying it right.
Where's our dictionary, Zach?
Yeah, like I just anonymity. Sorry, that's a hard one for me. I'll be somewhere. Gosh, we were at business after hours yesterday.
Yes.
I was approached by several people that I was like, and I can't place it.
Did I tell you that happened to me?
Oh, it happens all the time to me.
Oh, it doesn't. It's starting to happen to me.
Starting to happen to you? Well, it's because you're all over the socials.
But I was walking out of Threads.
Okay.
And some lady was walking in. And if this lady is listening, I'm sorry. I don't mean to offend you. I don't know who she was. And she's like, isn't your son having surgery today? And I'm like,
I feel like you're plugged into my calendar. What just happened?
And I was like, yeah, he is. He's out of surgery. I just stopped by to get some stuff, but he's doing great.
Thank you.
Yeah. And she's like, well, I'm glad he's doing good. And I'm not like,
God, it'll be like, okay, so let's be real. March through June, not a chance in hell that somebody's not going to recognize me because I'm all over the screens, right? And then it'll be like October.
I would say March through August because you have Beer Fest in August.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
That's another thing. I'll be somewhere getting my groceries, yoga pants, solid tank top, wandering around, and all of a sudden I'll be like some stranger. And again, if you were listening, I am so sorry. I was in Fred Meyer on like the fourth aisle.
Underneath this, exactly. We don't mean to offend anybody.
No, I did, and I couldn't pick you out of our crowd if I were to see you today, just because my brain cannot catalog that much information between my ears. But I apparently have one of those voices that if people hear me, they know exactly who I am. And so they'll be like, so my petunias are doing this thing. And you will watch me, my face. I will drop my head and look like, what am I wearing? Does anything say Moss Greenhouses on it? Is there any indication of the human that I belong to in my career life in this present moment while I'm having a personal moment, getting my freaking tomatoes and my milk? You know, apparently I have that voice. So that happens a lot. It's fine. I'm glad that somebody else is experiencing.
Yeah, it's kind of creepy.
No, it's
the first time it's been creepy. And now I'm like, oh.
There's plenty of places where it doesn't bug me.
Yeah.
Like if I am in a work capacity, 100%. Like zero problem. Come talk to me. I'm personable. I'm happy to chat with you. If I'm just like randomly somewhere, if I'm comfortable and with friends, I'm good. If you are like trying to have a work conversation with me, I'm probably going to disengage a little bit because I have to be on a lot.
Yeah.
You know, I want to be off occasionally.
I get to be off in like private because I wear orange everywhere.
Yeah, that'll do a thing.
Yeah. So like I have to be on even in the grocery store.
Yeah. Well, and I'll have people come ask me to come do their gardens. I'm going to always tell you no.
I asked you.
It's okay. I still told you no.
I know you did.
I still told you no.
Did.
I have a very nice neighbor across the street. She really wants me to come over and drink wine and help her design her backyard. One of her closest friends is a master gardener. She should really ask her. And she will do an excellent job for her. Because at the end of the day, I get asked that every day at work. Hey, will you just come over and design my garden? And I, hands down, I'm like, hard pass. Do you want me to dress you out of your wardrobe?
Podcast now where you built planters.
Oh,
so
100%.
Why don't you just text that to them?
Well, so you know what I do? I the first thing, it's like a man comes in to buy something at the greenhouse and I say, what's your wife's favorite color?
We've had this conversation.
Yeah. What's your favorite color? Go tall, short, tall, short, tall, short, and then decide when you want it to bloom and when you're spending the most time. It's not hard, right? Okay, so this circles back to the things I'm grateful for.
Oh.
Today is a gratitude one. Okay.
Yay.
So I found myself making time today to go to a pick your own sunflower garden. And I meant to bring them and totally left them on my counter. After I almost spilled the water all over it while I was on the phone trying to multitask. Really wasn't going well.
But they're not picked for you.
You actually get clippers. I mean, you can buy the pre-cut ones, totally, but I have control issues, as we were talking about in the last episode. Yeah. And so, no, I got clippers. It was $15. I got 6 stalks, and I go out and cut my own. It was great. So I was like, I would like 2 sets, please. And I stole a bucket and then set it on my car. And the girls were like, would you like us to wrap those up in water for you? I was like, really? You could do that? And they're like, yeah, it's part of the deal. I was like, well, you didn't tell me that when I paid for them. So yeah, I had a little bouquet for my girl's mom because she's way into sunflowers and she's been helping us out a ton. So what does a single woman like that she won't buy for herself usually? Flowers. So I always take Macy flowers. Like, that's the thing.
I think anybody likes flowers that they don't buy them for themselves.
Well, and people always wonder because I own a greenhouse. Like, no, I love cut flowers. Just don't buy me roses or carnations. They can make mixed in. I don't have a problem with that. But if you get me just roses or just carnations, I'ma just look at you.
So I'm going to plug the market on Main a little bit, even,
And I'll plug Blue Rock where I went to this.
They do wildflowers.
Oh, that's sweet.
And they're cut wildflowers. And I walk by them every Saturday and I'm like, oh, I just need to buy them.
Yeah. So tomorrow, you're going to go to the market on Main. You're going to do yourself a solid and you're going to go get a little bouquet that brings you joy. It's something to be grateful for.
Yes.
So I was at a leadership conference a couple of weeks ago. And so 2 of these, I'm going to tell you about 2 of the speakers. So the first one was, she was on season 7 of Alone. I actually sat with her the first day. Her name's Callie. She was the chick. I think she got second. I don't watch Alone. So I'm probably the wrong one to ask, but she's this gal from Montana. She's 31. Her name's Callie. And so the deal was, if you lasted 100 days, and it was like one of the northern territories in Canada, if you last 100 days, you got $1 million. And she took us through where her campsite was. It was literally on a north cliff.
Like by yourself?
Yeah, alone? By yourself. You got to pick 10 things to go into the wilderness with. Like she is a survivalist. She is like an ancestral-based survivalist. Is she the one
with the dreads?
No.
Okay, different.
No,
Callie.
we will look her up when we're done with this. Okay. But her name's Callie. And it was funny. I sat down next to this gal the first day. She spoke on the second day. And she had this, like, you could tell it was a homemade leather skirt. She was very, like, granola to a point, but not bohemian, like, chic. Like, more, like, baseline survivalist. She'd made all her own clothes. Like, it was cool. And she was a rad chick.
That's
awesome. It was funny. Like, if there was something funny with one of the other speakers, she'd sit there and giggle. Like, because she's in nature. She was connected, So she's explaining where her campsite is. Like, it never saw sun. You have to feed yourself while you're out there. And, I mean, she went through all the different things that happened to her out there. Well, they have, like, every couple of days, there's a med check, right? And this girl totally could have lasted 100 days without question. Like, she's got this.
Yeah.
So, day 89. She is 3 months into this thing, right? Day 89, med check. She got frostbite on her toes. They pulled her. Outside of her control, right? So, her whole pitch was, all right, I had to shift my perspective. I could be mad that they pulled me out at day 89 and I lost $1 million. Did
she win anything?
Yeah. I couldn't tell you what.
Good. But I'm
she
at least got some kind of consultation prize.
I'm sure she did fine. I mean, and this has created her a career and given her some notice. She's very grown up for her age. She's a cool individual. And her whole pitch was shifting your perspective. And from a leadership perspective, this is incredibly important because all of us have a bad day. And you have to be able to put yourself in somebody else's shoes sometimes. And so her whole thing was, I could focus on the 11 days that I could have had to get to $1 million, or I can focus on the 89 days that I did survive. So it's kind of like you plan a trip, right? You're so excited, and all you want to do is get there. And when you get there, you don't have that gratification that you're like, this wasn't as exciting. It's about the journey. Now you can be like, oh yeah, while we were on the way, we got a flat tire, and then the little boy puked in the back, and then oh gosh, our dog got out, and then we met these crazy people at the gas station, and that's what it's about. It's about the journey, the travel, the getting there, right? And so it's about shifting your perspective. And that I think is a really important part of gratitude. I had a tight paycheck a couple of paychecks ago, where because every cost is going up, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And I got done paying all the bills, and I had like $156 to get me through 2 weeks, and I was like, cool, shit,
Diapers suck.
yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing. But I caught myself, and I was like, hold on, you got to shift your perspective. And I had to remind myself, I'm like, all your bills are paid. Your fridge is full. The gas tank has gas. You're fine. You have everything you need. Abundance. You have abundance. You have a roof over your head. You are not want for anything. You are not clothes. You're great.
So there's a sign in my grandparents' kitchen. It's got dust and everything around it. But I always look at it. And we're thankful for dirty dishes because at least we had food to eat.
Exactly. Shifting your perspective. All right. So the second speaker, this guy was just absolutely fire. His name was Greg the Boss Wooldridge. Oh, yeah. No, I'm sure you search this, you can find him. So he is the Navy commander of the Blue Angels. Oh. Like fire. You ever seen the Blue Angels fly?
Yeah, they've come here.
Oh my God. Yeah. They're incredible. Okay. So they're going 400 miles an hour, 12 inches from each other. Oh. Talk about a trust exercise.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a big part of leadership, like trusting each other. So he's talking about the Blue Angels process. So they have like a triangle performance, like a diamond performance is what they call it. And so it's 4 points. And the first thing is you have to believe you can do it. So they build the belief they build your skill set. And mind you, this is a team of 6 pilots that changes at least 4 of them on an annual basis. Wow. So the training on this, and it's not turnover because of skill set. It's turnover because that's just the nature of how that team is built. But it is so strategic. And their whole thing is glad to be here, right? So that they finish everything with, and I'm just glad to be here. So part of their process, the first step is you have to believe you can do it. Second is you brief and go through, this is how we're going to do this training run. This is how we're going to do this show. And it's like brief. And they go through exercises. They do visualization. Then they actually do the flights themselves. And that's the execution piece, right? Is the flight itself. And then they have a debrief. The debrief is the most important because what is a big part about leadership and stepping up and leading the charge is you have to be vulnerable. You have to do things you're scared of. You got to have courage. And part of that is owning up to mistakes.
Oh, absolutely.
And with that, and we're human. Part of the human condition is you're always living in a state of, nobody's perfect. And perfection is impossible. Just, that is wasted energy. Take your power back. Decide what your level of acceptance is and move through that. Yeah. What's the most important thing? So the debrief was really important because even the captains, not one time they say, all right, it was in this turn. I did this when I should have done this. This is why I did this. This is what I'm going to do to prevent it. And I keep thinking of if I had to call so-and-so's wife and tell him he wasn't coming home because I made a bonehead, and I'm just glad to be here. And that glad to be here piece has become their mantra. That's what they're known for. And so it brings back that piece of your life. Like you can sit there and wallow in all the things that aren't going right. Like, but you're here. What are you grateful for? And so do you follow Rachel Hollis at all?
Yes.
Okay. I actually brought her journal, which is funny. Yeah. So it's her last 90 days. I didn't get to it in the last 90 days, so I scratched it out in this first. This is from 2020. So we're not even going to talk about that. But
that's okay.
There is something that she does in her journal, and it's today I'm grateful for. Now you remember her talking about this, right? Okay. It can't be like, I'm grateful for my husband. It has to be like, I'm grateful for the warm coffee I got this morning when I was freezing my patootie off getting out of my car in 20-degree weather. I am grateful for the lady who let me in on C Street because there was backup traffic and I would have been sitting there for 30 more minutes. So it's a really specific thing that she finds to be grateful for, because if you are going through your day and you are looking for things to be grateful for, how much better of a mood are you in?
So I have to tell you, now that you're bringing this up, here at Refresh, we do one-on-ones weekly.
What is it?
A one-on-one.
A one-on-one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Zach and I have a one-on-one. Jamie and I have a one-on-one. And then I have one with Ryan. It's the last question or second to last question, Zach? It's the last question on our one-on-one. What is one gratitude for the week?
Okay. So I finish it. Well, no, actually I start. I do coaching with Brendan Burchard's team. And who is another wonderful author. Go read Brendan Burchard, High Performance Habits. Or I'm going to have to look up his other book. Life's Golden Ticket. That is actually a perfect book to read for this topic. So
yeah.
When I get on my calls with Danny, the first thing we start with is, what were your wins?
Yep.
Because if you can identify something that went right, the things that aren't going the way you want them to suddenly don't seem as bad.
Yeah.
And again, I go back to the question I asked in the last episode, will this matter in a year? Will this matter in 5 years? Will this matter in 10 years? The answer is no to any of those questions. How much energy should you be putting at what's bothering you at this moment?
We also do the circle of life thing where it's got like money and finance, personal, it's got like a list of things.
Okay.
Like communities and different things. And then you have to grade it on a scale of 1 to 10 of how that was handled this week and how you felt your life was during this week.
Okay.
So it's been interesting to watch. I'm just going to call you out, Zach. It's been interesting to watch. So we've been doing this about 2 months.
Zach's our producer, if anybody's wondering who Zach is.
We've been doing this for about 2 months, really steadily. Every Friday we do it. And it's been interesting to watch Zach as he's evolved in Refresh, how his numbers are getting higher because he's evolving his personal life too.
Oh, it makes a difference.
It's so awesome. And like that gratitude figure, his is never just, I'm grateful for life. It's always a good, like grateful. Like I think this week's was, he's grateful that we're able to have such a free work schedule that we call his office the hole. He can get out of his hole and work at a coffee shop or work at home or take his laptop.
Flexibility is huge.
Because he got in a brain fog this week. And so he's like, I'm grateful that I was able to express that. And I was given I don't remember your words, but given the grace and the acceptance of, Zach, you need out of your hole. Get out of your hole.
Sometimes you just need a reset.
Yeah.
Right? We're going through that at work. We need a reset. And we're transitioning from generation 3 to generation 4. And so our whole thing is, I want to shift our entire company's mission. So this is coming. No, it's a big one. Now it's a really simple concept, right? So we're going to shift our entire focus as a company to our people, our employees.
Wow.
So it's always been on plants and the customers, 100%. Because who doesn't write their mission statement as a greenhouse? I am going to grow the most beautiful, high quality plants for the most wonderful customers in the world. Like pie in the sky, flowers, Disney, rainbows, bullshit. Okay, right? And yes, there's a couple of explicits. I won't go worse than that one. But what if our focus was more like Google? And I don't know what Google's mission statement is, so I'm going to have to Google this at one. I'm going to have to Google. Oh, wow. That's a thing. But what if our focus was to be the most enriching place to work that you looked forward to showing up every single day? Now, would that provide top quality plants? And would that really help our customers do their job and be a joy to talk to on the phone because we were so happy being there? Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so we are really going to shift the entire culture of the company. It is going to be employee focused. We're even coming up with the Knights of the Round Table where we have a meeting every week where everyone at that table is an equal. Period.
I think that's what our operations meetings have started to become. Yeah.
Yeah. Because everybody has a say, right? To a certain degree, or buy-in in the process.
Yeah.
So to speak. Somebody might be taking the lead charge depending on the skill set and what the project is. But ultimately, there's been so much change in our organization that, people, I've got people that have been there, over 30 years, for 20 years, for 18 years. And these are people that used to be my bosses. Now I'm their bosses. That's change. I am the definition of change, and change makes people uncomfortable.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh my goodness. And so we're trying to shift it and say, you know what? We're going to make you the most important part. But in turn, I want you to give your all. And here's how it's going to work. And we're going to give them the option right when we start this. Like, if this doesn't work for you, go. It's the best job market you've ever seen in the world out there waiting for you. Go conquer the world. We wish you the best. But, and ultimately, we don't expect anybody to,
If so, we know how you can find some new people.
Exactly. If you ever need recruitment videos, Refresh does a great job. But we're honestly, like, my people are stoked.
Yeah.
And I mean, they've only heard bits and pieces of it. And, I haven't had any pushback from my partners or anything like that. And so I'm excited to see how this empowers.
It's nice to know that your hard work, for those that do give all, is appreciated.
Well, because I've got some team players that have just really are just kick ass all the time, or have really grown and evolved in the last couple of years. And in turn have gotten, like you're talking about how Zach's evolved. Once you're being appreciated and given the resources that you need, that you're able to feel more confident what you're doing and really take those next steps and being able to fill your cup the way you need to. Like I'm in the middle of a project right now that I absolutely hate, but it is so necessary. It is the schedule of our entire production of every plant we grow. I wanted to have it done at the end of June. Unrealistic. I was not giving myself enough time, and I had a day job, and I couldn't be away from the office as much as I needed to be able to do this task. I even got a box. I got like a stack that is ridiculous. It's probably like 30 pounds worth of catalogs I have to have with me to do this.
Wow.
I mean, it's nonsense.
That's insane.
So I had to have a realistic conversation with myself. Like, I haven't had a weekend off at all in the last couple of weeks. And it's July. I should be having downtime. And everybody I see around town's like, oh my gosh, aren't you getting a breather? You getting a break? And I'm just like, I'm going to stab you with something dull right in your eyeball. It's fine. And I just have to step back and be like, hold on. Nobody understands your reality. That's okay.
Yeah.
And I walked into my office yesterday and I was like, okay, talking to my team. And I had one of my team members look at me and go, whoa, do you know how much stuff you've gotten done in the last couple of weeks? Like, she hard stopped me because she could tell. And I hadn't said it out loud that I was being hard on myself. She's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Look at the warboard. Because we turned our big board into like full on warboard. I was like, all right, here's what we're doing. And I asked them if they wanted me to erase it at the end. They're like, no, this is progress. I like looking at this. Then we know where we're headed.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, cool. We're going to clean it up at one point so it's a little more legible. But it's those moments where your team members start to, if you start having that with them, just being like, hold on, celebrate the win. Be grateful for what you've accomplished. You're being hard on yourself. Because I actively can do that with other people, but I have a hard time doing it with myself sometimes. And now I've got it so my team members are checking me. And that's that whole, I have started to practice this in my office. My people are the most important thing. Like, yeah, I need you to sell the plants. Please sell the plants. The plants need sold. That is the job. But they'll get very in a scarcity mindset, like, oh, well, you need to grow more of this. We need to grow more of this. And I say, hold on. It's okay to run out. That means you did your job. And when I slow them down on that point, it's made such a big difference. And so it's that gratitude. You got to come full circle and say, hey, we need to be grateful. We need to have this moment and celebrate the win. Because how many times are you hard on yourself? Every minute of every day?
There we go. I was going to say,
hold on. How many seconds?
How about you ask Zach? Because he'd probably know better than I do.
Well, and I am a person who's famous for this. I'll do a to-do list.
Oh.
And then I'll do something that's not on the to-do list. And then I'll write it on the to-do list. I'll scratch it out so that I feel like I
have Post-it notes.
Yeah, I've seen your office. There's like a whole wall of them.
It's getting better.
Slowly. Progress. Progress. Do you have it color-coded yet?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you do. Of course you do. I'm working on it.
You should see my calendar.
I have seen your calendar, and that's why I was asking if it's color-coded. I'm working on color coding. I'm not consistent yet. But I did figure out how to get a custom color. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Thank you for that. I have pink now. and I don't even like pink, but pink is a very important color to me. It's core to my values. So, because it's vibrant and it's obnoxious and it's in your face. Speaking of pink, as I'm looking out the lovely offices of Refresh above Duncan's in downtown Twin Falls, Idaho, where Evel Knievel jumped, if you are not in Idaho, we have these big hanging baskets down Shoshone Main Street that we actually grow.
I know, they're beautiful.
And they're pink. And as I was driving down here to meet you today, I was like, I'm grateful that those look so good. Because there's a couple of years they did not look so good.
No, they look beautiful this year.
Like, and they all match. Yeah, like it's a cohesive.
All the time.
There was some growing pains. They will be different colors next year.
They should be orange next year.
That's not going to happen. First off, they don't really make orange petunias right now. There's a whole story about GMOs about that. Another day, another story. Day, and there's not an aggressive enough orange petunia for the like 2 that are on the market to be able to compete like that. But you're going to have, I think it's purple, a blue veined, and like a dark fuchsia together next year. So it's indigo and jazzberry and blue veined, and they're all super petunias. They're gonna look good.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if anyone's trying to steal ideas, that's what's going to be in Twin Falls next year. Twin Falls will know soon. I haven't told them yet, but they trust us. We know what we're doing. Okay, so with that, what are you grateful for today?
Today. Oh, wait, you didn't prep me for that.
No, I didn't. I'll tell you what I'm grateful for while you think about it.
Yeah, you do that.
I am grateful for homemade cherry pie. Because that is what we are having with the dinner with company that we have tonight. And salmon from Alaska that my dad so kindly caught and brought back home on a cedar plank on my grill with fresh picked corn on the cob. I'm grateful for a meal from the garden today.
That's awesome.
And, no salmon doesn't come from the garden, but it is sustainably sourced by my father on a hook.
So I'm gonna be cheesy since I have 2 minutes left.
Heck yeah.
I am grateful for my job because it is flexible, that my nanny had the day off today. So I was able to work from home and see my little girl stand.
Oh, heck yes. You didn't miss that moment.
I didn't miss the moment.
That's huge.
It is huge.
Those are big things.
And I forget that sometimes because I'm here a lot or out in the community a lot.
That made me tear up a little bit. Those are really important moments.
So
if you see things like that.
Yeah.
I'm also grateful for a really good puppy haircut. Onyx looks killer.
Oh.
Tino the Filipino.
Oh.
From You Dirty Dog. Tino's awesome. I'm going to tell him I plugged him in a podcast. I gave him a sunflower.
I have to agree with that. Mo gets crazy. Man. And when he comes and looks like silk. I'm grateful for that.
Yeah,
that's the good stuff. Yeah.
All right, so find something to be grateful for today. If it's even your flowers in your front yard, because I'm also grateful for those today. And I invite you to go live life in full color, because plain is boring. We will see you next time when we are getting into either salsa or baking with produce. We'll play with that. But we're going to be eating on the next episode. Thanks, guys.